up against me. God is in control. I shall not fear, for God is in control. Oh Lord. Hear me now. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. Deliverance is coming. How long now? Weeping may endure for a night, but in the morning joy is coming. Joy like a river. Whom jobless no man can curse. I will rise up. I hear the sound. I will rise up. Help me say, whom jobless no man can curse. So I will rise up. I hear the sound. I will rise. Yeah. I hear the sound. I am not alone. God is in control. I hear the sound. God is in control. Yeah. I am not alone. God is in control. God is in control. Yeah. Rejoice not over me, my enemies. For when I fall down 7 times, 7 times I will rise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord is my light and my salvation. I, whom shall I fear? Oh, 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 you are in control. You are in control. Oh, 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 you are in control. You are in control. You got the whole world in your hands, Lord. You got the whole world in your hands, Lord. You got the whole world in your hands, Lord. You got the whole world in your hands, Lord. You got the whole world in your hands, Lord. You got the whole world in your hands, Lord. You got the whole world in your hands, Lord. Whom Jah bless, no man can curse. I will rise up. I will rise up. I am not alone. God is in control. God is in control. Yeah. I am not alone. God is in control. God is in control. Yeah. I am not alone. God is in control. God is in control. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. You are in control. You are in control. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. You are in control. You are in control. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. You are in control. You are in control. Yeah. Whom Jah bless, no man can curse. I will rise up. I will rise up. Hey, whom God bless, no man can curse. So I will rise up. Say I will rise up. Hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. You are in control. You are in control. Yeah. bless, no man can curse. I will rise up, I will rise up, I will rise up. Whom Jah bless, no man can curse.
Young Trill on the beat.
All right. Welcome to Italk with Pastor Kwame. I miss all of you, and I'm so excited to connect back to my class, my producer, and those who make time to check chat. It's been an exciting week for me. My gifted NGO. No, let me just welcome all of you first. I'm too selfish. I welcome all of you to Italk, and it's going to be another impressive time together. We're going to talk about one key subject, which is how well are you? How well are you? And I'll help you calculate your wellness number. I believe you're going to take the next 3 to 4 shows to do that, because there are 4 areas of your life that we begin to measure your wellness. So we're going to take show by show. I will do my best and do the first category today, so that we'll be able to have progress, because the story of the day keeps stealing our time, just because those are very interesting. And so, first thing first, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I want you to share the show and let your friends know that we are talking about real stuff, which is deeper inner wellness. The life within you is what we focus on, not the life outside you, because really what happens inside you is the real you. The rest is just selfies with filters and all. So we deal with the inner person. All right. And so that is the game plan for today. We're going to talk about your wellness number. But I want you to share the show and share with friends and let them know that we are on. And we'll pick a challenging spot, but we are fine. And I want to salute the producer and the family and all the presenters that pass through from time to time. The beautiful thing is that the show is always recorded on the platform, FBN platform, so you can always watch it at your convenience and follow us as we discuss real life stories and real life situations. All right. So to just recap again, you are watching FBN I Talk with Pastor Kwame every Friday, 7:30 Eastern time. And my students, most of them are in Ghana, so they have to stay up late to just attend class. And the lazy ones, like Ray, doesn't show up in class. All right, so big shout out to all my students. And there's going to be a graduation very soon. So after some times, I will come and announce their report cards and tell you who is the Akukoti of the class and who is the top student in the class. So I'm going to see who is online right now to give a shout out to. But please share the video, and let's have an exciting time. All right, so I'm going to change things around a little bit, because if I keep going straight to the story of the day, I never get to do what the producer hired me to do, which is not to come and discuss stories, but to bring discipleship, to bring emotional wellness, to bring some of the skills God has given me to share, and to talk about marriage. But I guess you can say that the story is kind of giving me the opportunity to teach a little bit on marriage. So that should count as a score for me. But this is how we're going to play the game today. I'm going to talk about a little bit about like introduction to the wellness number, and then we are going to go into the story of the day. And when I come back, I'll play comments and comment on the story, and then we'll finish it up with with the uh, with the detail of the wellness number. And I think I like that template much better. So for a while, please pardon me, there will not be any break. We'll go straight with the hour. I know there's not going to be music for the next 4 shows, so that I could introduce the topic, and in the middle play the clip of the day, and then discuss it a little bit and finish the show with the main subject for the day, because I don't want to take too long in dealing with how to know your wellness number. I hope that's okay. All right, so So, my producer, I need if you are staying with me today, thank you. I would like you to help me by sending me some messages on my WhatsApp anytime there are new comments so that I can read it, because sometimes for some reason I don't get to see the comments until it's kind of too late. So, if you can do that for me, I would probably appreciate it. You just send me a text that there are comments I should get into, and then I'll get to those comments. All right, so let me begin today by asking how you are doing and how life is going for you and how you are coping. And then I'll talk about myself. Now I'm not selfish anymore. So amazing things are happening. I got opportunity to be in the news in my city. They are highlighting me as a problem solver with the Emotional Awareness Center. And it's opening a lot of doors for me. I'll be going to ESPN radio for nonprofit to talk about people. I'll go into some morning shows to talk about things. And really, God has given me exposure in the city, which I'm excited about. And what is interesting is that the things I share here for free is exactly what I teach in the center. So if others are enjoying it, then please take advantage of it and let's learn together. So I'm really, really excited. Now the news presenter is now my friend. And so it means that greater things are about to happen. And I'm super excited about it. All right. So let's get busy. We are going to talk today about knowing your wellness number. I'm going to give you some background information or statistics so you can follow along. For the past 40 years, the what do you call the happiness index of the world has been going down drastically. People are more or less not happy, and it's getting worse by the day. Now, the happiness index measures the loneliness and the unhappiness of people. And so we are living in a pandemic of loneliness and unhappiness. And you would think that that is not your business. Everybody's happiness is their own business. But don't be so fast to kind of brush it off. When loneliness increases and unhappiness increases, then these are the consequences. The first thing is suicide rate goes up, substance. All of these things are on a global scale, which is very troubling. The issue here is that if anybody will say that we are going to be the generation that is not happy, we wouldn't believe it, because we are the generation that has a lot of things to play with. You can literally stay on TikTok for 3 hours and you wouldn't even know it unless somebody come and say you have scrolled for too long. So we have so many things that should make us happy, but we are still the most miserable generation. And that is primarily because we are not doing well. And people are not happy, people are lonely. And I'm talking about people who are doing well financially and people who are doing well in a relationship. This is not people who are not in a relationship. People are lonely, married. They are happily married and still lonely. People are financially stable and still unhappy. And so we have to drill down deep and find out what is going on. And I strongly understand that it comes down to knowing some basis. And those are things I seek to bring today. So, one of the things that will make you really complete on the inside is knowing your wellness number. And that is the challenge or the subject for the class. How well are you doing? Because the truth is, you cannot be well by just shopping. You cannot be well by any external things you put on yourself. It doesn't matter how many times you watch a funny Ghana movie. If you're not well on the inside, after you are finished, you are still going to feel lonely. You're still going to feel unhappy. It doesn't matter how many Netflix you watch. So the problem is that these big corporations, they are taking advantage of the fact that people are lonely and unhappy, and they keep selling you new things. So it is business for them, but it is misery for you and I. So I'm going to talk to you about how to measure your wellness number and do something about it. I hope that is good. All right, so that's where we are going today. And on the other side of when we talk about the story for the day, I will talk to you about the first category or the first area you measure your wellness number from, and I'll explore a little bit with you, and I would like you to measure yours based on the information I will provide. So without wasting time at all, let's take some time and watch the story of the day, and then I'll come back and play some comments, and then also give my overall principle approach to the situation, and then I will go straight into the first area we measure our wellness number. Don't go anywhere. This is your show. I'll talk with Pastor Kwame, and today I'm treating how to calculate your wellness number. Let's take a listen and let's watch the story of the day, and I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay, bye. Hi.
Hey.
I'm packing up stuff all day. I don't even know.
Let's see.
The people from the furniture company, they call and they want to drop off this stuff. Oh, and when I was coming home, I buy food, so I have food in the fridge. Yeah. We still go in for the blinds because they close at 5. But the time is already 4 o'clock, so I just need to finish all this stuff.
We gotta talk. We need to talk. So let's have a seat now.
Okay.
Renal, we really need to hold up on some of our purchase plans for a little while.
Okay. Why?
COVID, right? Due to the pandemic, well, today at the office, they told me that the project I was working on, it has been pushed back till next year.
What? Well, what does that mean? Do you still have a job?
Yes, I do still have a job. But I'm only working for like 2 days a week on a smaller project with a reduced salary.
Okay.
So we really need to cut back on some of our monthly spending.
Okay. Well, we can make it work. We just need to figure out what our expenses are. And we're supposed to have savings in the bank, right?
Well, between the monthly car installment, rent in advance, and the wedding we just had, very little. However, the salary that I'm getting, I could afford to pay the monthly installments for the car, utilities, and mommy's allowance.
What? Allowance for your mother? We could cut that out.
What? Nah. I made a commitment to her, and I really can't go back on my word.
Elijah, your mother is fine. She works. Well, we have rent. What about my school fees?
Alright. Well, I was thinking that, remember you was telling me that the bank offered you a position just beyond August?
Yes, but that's full time. How am I supposed to work and go to school? The semester starts back in September.
Alright, well, I was just getting to that. You could just take 1 year off from university and just work for that 1 year. We'll get back on our feet in no time.
No, what? This is my last year. I can't just stop in the last year, Elijah.
Ronald, look. I thought it through, and this is the only way I see fit.
No, it has to have another way. I cannot just stop in the last year, Elijah. Daddy could pay the school fees.
What? Daddy? No.
What? He wouldn't have a problem with it. I will call him now.
Ronald, no. I just said no. Don't be foolish for me now, please.
Excuse me?
Ronald, alright. I'm sorry, right? It's just a lot. We're going through a lot right now, and I need you to trust me. Bear with me, please. Just trust me.
Okay. I really wanted to finish the last year, but I guess we'll just have to figure it out. I will call the bank manager and I will handle food and rent.
So, by you handling food, you're cooking, right?
You're pushing it.
Come here.
All right. So welcome back to Italk. I think the producer is just in love with this story, and all her emotions are all over it. So the questions I had for all of us to consider is we are following this couple. We started following them before they even got married. So we are all over in their business. So this is the question that I wanted us to kind of consider. Um, so the the let me take a look at the question I wanted to present, and so that all of you watching can kind of come in if you have an answer. All right, so let me read a question to your hearing quickly. So basically, I was focusing on finding out about the decision that the boy made. All right, so the first question was, please, can you share your comment about the clip in the light? It says, is he right in keeping his expensive car note and paying for the car and still sending money to his mom by requesting the wife to stop school for a year and work full time? That was a first question. The second question is the wife making a wrong choice by accepting to stop school for a year? And lastly, what would you recommend that they do in this situation? So if you have any comment on that, you can comment. So I'm going to go and play some of the comments of my analysts that came in concerning that, and then I'll read some comment on Facebook, and then we'll take it from there. So let's see who I can. So I saw Nyame Nyako in class. Thank you for coming to class. I know some of the other ones will join in soon. All right, so I'm going to read this comment from Lady Ama. She says the man is being selfish here. He's only thinking about himself and his family. The, the woman, I think, is also making a mistake by deferring. In other words, the woman is not doing the right thing, and he's and that the man is being selfish. That's what Ama is saying. So let me play this clip for our hearing today.
On the story of the week, please, I think that it doesn't take only one partner to make marriage work. So if the husband is saying the wife should make a sacrifice to stop schooling for a year because there's hardship in the family, or where they are facing financial problems in the family, I equally think he can also make the sacrifice of letting that expensive car go. As for taking care of the mother, sending money to the mother, fine. That one, the little that he has, he can send it to the mother. But the car, I think, is a problem. I think the car is a problem because at the end of the day, it's expensive. And you are spending too much on the car in such a time that you are having financial crisis. For the woman to agree to stop schooling, fine, she can defer just to save the situation at home. But I don't think all the sacrifices or the commitment should boil down to the woman. The man should also try to sacrifice as well to save his marriage. Thank you.
All right, that's from Lady Adele. Let's take a listen to another one.
All right. So as interesting as the story is, there's still a lot that we still cannot tell from what we saw. So I'm kind of like reserving my judgment on some of these things because I feel like we need more detail to decide. So on the man trying to keep his expensive car and all that, it's tricky to jump into conclusion because if he's had the car, for instance, like his car note for 6 years and he's paid for 5 years, it makes a lot more sense for him to pay during the 1 year than to let the car go. Because chances are, if you try to sell it, he's not going to make that 4 years money back to pay off the car note and then keep some profit. And also, if he has just 1 year left, it makes more sense to just, like finish paying for it and then have the car because then they will have a few more years, hopefully, without a car note. So it's tricky. So I would say it's fine for him to keep the car. Okay. Secondly, concerning his mom's allowance, that's also tricky because nobody knows the circumstances under which, like, we don't know the full detail of how much he's given to his mom or why he still has to keep doing it. Because if the mom works, then why do they even have an allowance for her in the first place? I can understand like periodically giving her stuff, but the fact that there's an allowance is also, it's dicey. Like, why was there an allowance to begin with? So that also makes it tricky for me to say anything about him doing that. But my concern is with the wife accepting not to go to school. That bothers me because I personally believe that if you're in a marriage, and we all pray that it lasts forever, I feel like there are certain sacrifices that are just too big to make in a marriage, no matter how much you love the person. Because I realize that people get very bitter when they make some of these choices because they do it out of love, yes, but then in the long term, you have to love yourself too, right? So what I see is the girl making that choice to stay home for a whole year is very dicey because young couple, you may end up having a baby, and for women, when we have kids, the majority of the weight falls on us. So then it gets tricky, right? You may not be able to go back to school because of the big, it may take longer than a year. So that's my concern with that situation. So I feel like that was too much of a sacrifice to make for such a young marriage. And for a young woman, I always believe that no matter how good the marriage is, you have to also focus on taking care of yourself. Then the fact that the man is too proud to ask for the help of the girl's father, that bothers me because I feel like if you don't have the money, and this is a very important thing, right? I feel like to me, maybe they should accept help from the girl's father at least for that year for him to pay the tuition so that she can be done. If it's something they want to repay him back, that would be nice to do. But I think they need that help, so they should have accepted it. So that is my thing. Like, I mean, I guess that's my solution. They should take the help from the girl's father at least so that she can finish up the school for that year. And him having that much pride, maybe his goal should be that, you know what, I'm going to work hard and then pay this man back. So it's technically going to be a loan because once the girl finishes school, she can also help and they can pay her father back.
Hello. With this video, I don't think the guy is making the right request because he's the car.
Apologize. I think there's a call coming through my broadcast. Sorry about that.
In sending.
So
All right. So I will.
Money to his mom.
Okay, now I get it. It's coming through because I want to really play this one and make one or two comments, and then we will continue. Apologize for this technical difficulty. So I'll come back and play the 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 take from Dr. Lily. So we got two comments, which are very important comments. Lady Adele made a good comment, and then um, Dr. Gloria also made a good comment. And so basically, they are all putting a very good kind of decision for it. I kind of was interesting with Dr. Gloria's take on not necessarily the guy's decision to keep the car and keep giving money to the mother, but she was more looking at the situation where the the how do you call it? She was more concerned about the man not willing to take the help from the father-in-law. So let me go back and see if I can play the comment from Dr. Lily, and then we will wrap the comments up and I'll come and give my take. For some reason, my audio is just not cooperating.
To stop.
Or I think I heard something.
To me, that's a better solution.
That is taking advantage of this.
All right, I guess it doesn't want me to play. All right, so let me give my comment, because when my analysts take their time to really chip in, I feel like it's important that I share with the viewers. So let me take
This young
another try. Okay, I guess maybe when I come back it will work out. Okay, so let me give you my take, and I'll promise to play the last two before we talk about wellness number. Let me check my time also to see how I am doing on time. All right, so we are looking at the reality setting in for the couple. They started on a very interesting note, and people gave different comments. So what I'm looking at is basically two principles is what I'm going to focus on. So I'm going to go to Facebook and see if there's any comment also. I'm going to focus on two principles, and then we're going to take it from there. All right. Let me see what comments I have here. I think so. Do I have any comment from here? Please, can we reply? Can we replay the video? Why? the my producer wants to replay the video. Well, is there a reason? Please share your reason why you want to replay the video. For some reason, my phone is also freezing off and on. All right, so two principles I want to bring in is, the first one is the principle of I don't know how to phrase it, but I'm going to give a word that will make it easy for you to remember. It's called the principle of I guess it's a leadership principle, but it's a principle of intentional motivation. Principle of intentional motivation. And I'm going to explain that. And the second principle is the principle of pre-existing condition, right? Two things I'm going to talk about: intentional motivation and pre-existing condition, right? Those are the two I want to focus on. And so what is intentional motivation, right? So as a leader, as a husband, if you don't become intentional in motivating your wife or in being with a person, something ends up happening, which is, you have a comment from all right, thank you. Pastor just wrote those for me. Yes, so let me deal with the intentional motivation. And it is a principle that applies to marriage, applies to leadership, applies to any place where you are working with people, right? As a leader, your job is not only to do the right thing, but to keep the people on the pace with the right thing you are doing. When we go to Bible school, they say something like, if you are going somewhere and nobody's following you, you're not a leader, you're just taking a walk, right? It's a very difficult position in leadership where you have to balance between making good decisions and also making the people follow you. And if you're going to make people follow you, you have to make intentional motivation. motivate a person intentionally. And one of the ways you do that is to allow the person you are with to see that you have allowed him or her to cause her decisions to be applied in the process going forward. Let me make it clear. If you are going to be a good leader, if you're going to be a good husband, there are some decisions your wife will make. And those decisions, you might have a better one, but to motivate your wife for her to contribute to the forwardness and to follow your lead, you must make her a primary voice on some of the decisions in time of crisis. It won't kill anything. You are boosting her morale. You are making her feel love. You are making her feel as a part. So anytime as a leader, anytime as a husband, you come to a crisis or a situation like this, and everything on the table came from you, you are not a good leader. Even if your ideas were right, you are not a good leader. You must intentionally motivate the other party to win some, especially if you marry somebody who you might have more education than the person. You have degrees than the person. And every time they say something, you have to correct them. You are a very bad leader. So the husband, the people who did the comment, they have done the detail on what they have to do, but I'm bringing the principle of, regardless of his decisions in times like this, make sure that it looks like your wife's decision in solving the problem was factored in the path forward, even if it wasn't the best. Do you understand that? Anytime because sometimes it's true, you are the wisest person in the room, you are the smartest person in the room, but you are a bad leader if all the smart ideas come from you, because not all ideas will kill the group. There are times you must allow somebody else to bring a bad idea and implement it, knowing that this idea will not work, but the reason is because you want to do intentional motivation. Because if every time it is your good idea that plays out, the people has left you, but you just don't know yet. Your wife will never say, I'm soft. I'm growing now. I've matured of this thing. So sometimes when I say, honey, come and let's do video, she won't come and do video. Because even when she come, when she says something, you correct it. That's how I started my marriage. Right? So if you don't intentionally motivate people by allowing them to feel like they can express their simple knowledge, and you take it and implement it. So the guy did not understand the principle of intentional motivation. You say, honey, what do you think we can do here? Don't just come. I know you have lost half of your contract. I know all of that, but it's intentional that you make sure that when you were resolving this case, my wife brought some suggestions and we implemented it. Do you understand that? That is called intentional motivation. And another way you do the same thing is that you try to put yourself in a situation where it looks like you are also taking part of the fault. Like Dr. Gloria said, maybe the car, they have paid it, and they are about to finish. So it's not sensible to stop it. But whatever it is, make sure that by the time the case is resolved, it shows that not only did you allow your wife to bring ideas, but you also have shown that there's an area in your life where you have taken a fall for. Do you see what I'm trying to teach now? So I'm not talking about whether it's right or wrong, but as a leader, your goal is to keep people going with you. And if they're going to go with you, they must see that their voice counts, and they must see that when it's difficult time, you also did something that shows that you are ready to swallow some of the bitter medicine. And it has nothing to do with who is right or is wrong, but intentional motivation require that you move in that pace by making sure the other person's contribution, that you might know that it's not a good contribution, but if it's not going to destroy the whole company, then add it to it, not because it's good, but because you are an intentional motivator. And secondly, you have to take some of the cuts, not because it's a wise plan, but it has to look like you are willing to suffer. And those little non-verbal decisions is what we call intentional motivation. And sometimes people wouldn't understand. They say, why you listen to this girl? Yeah, her point is not good. But you have to listen because you want her to go with you where you're going. You understand? Taking people to where you're going, it requires a lot of skills. So the principle I'm telling you is intentional motivation, which is in time of situation, make sure that if you are the smartest person in the room, you don't let everybody do what you say. It's a sign that you lack maturity. I was like that when I was in Assemblies of God, and we are having. I go to Sunday school only to show them my intelligence. So when they ask a question, I let everybody talk, and I'll be the last person to talk. And I say, when I talk, the teacher should take mine and say that's the correct answer. Right? That's a sign of immaturity. So intentional motivation is when you allow other people in the room to feel like they can also win some. Because if you don't do that, after 1 or 2 episodes, whether everybody's quiet, when you ask a question, any contribution, nobody say anything because they know that you will even take it anyway. All right, so that's the first point. The second point is called pre-existing condition, right? So the reason I made a strong comment of double reinforcement is because if you go into a marriage that your mother said don't go, that will create a level of accepting of some things that you shouldn't accept. You understand? If you are going to the marriage with that pre-existing condition, your mother said don't go, you are not ready, that causes you to accept a lot of nonsense you shouldn't accept because you are afraid that it will be said that my mother said it. So her willingness to quickly stop school because the last year is stemming from that pre-existing condition of I will prove my mother wrong and make this work, even if the decision I'm making is poor decision. That's why I was saying it's very important that when your daughter is going, double assure her that the thing I said is wrong. You are right. So when you are in trouble, come and let us solve it. Do you understand that? So those are the principles I want to highlight. That what is really going on is the boy not understanding leadership role and understand that if I don't involve my wife at every stage and let her bring her 2 cents into it, it's not because I'm not smart. I can make all the decisions, but as soon as you marry, don't make all the decisions, even if you know the answers. And I'm saying I'm sitting in this chair and I have not done that. And I'm telling you that if you don't do that, you'll be alone doing all your things and your wife will just love you from a distance. Do you understand? So if you are smart, make sure that you are not the only voice that is leading the thing. Bring other people inside because I tell you the goal is to take people with you. If you get to the top of the mountain and you are there by yourself, you are not a leader, you are taking a stroll. So sometimes it is because of people. That's why you allow things to go slow. My last point on that, when you look at the way when Jacob was coming to meet Esau, he had a lot of family, kids, mothers, pregnant women, all of that. And the way they were walking, he made it such that the little ones will not be left behind. So they were deciding the pace of the trip. Do you see that? So if you're going to take people with you, let the weaker one decide the pace of the group, not the smarter one. I hope it makes sense. All right. So let's see if I can get let me read some comments. Take my glass and read some comments. All right. Leadership in marriage. Very important. Thank you, Pastor said it very important. Very important to revolve your partner in, like involve your partner in decision, especially during crisis. Awesome. Yes, exactly. Yes, so that is the main point. The principle of yes, so that's the principle I'm dealing with. The principle of intentional motivation and pre-existing condition. So the pre-existing condition is really so. If you're listening to me, I want you to understand that don't allow pre-existing condition to cause you to make errors in your life. Are you there? There are some people that their marriage is a bet. Like they have bet that I will marry this. And because of that, they want to win the bet that even the marriage is killing them, they want to stay there and die. Those pre-existing conditions is what I'm talking about. Right? When it comes to marriage, I told you it's better to be alive than or to die and win a bet. When it comes to marriage, it's better for your mother to be right than for you to be right and die. So remove all pre-existing conditions, and if I do this, I'll be in shame and all of that. My enemies will win. Do you want to win and die, or you want your enemies to win and live? If you have a healthy self-esteem, you don't live your life based on the opinion of your enemies. Do you understand? You are healthy enough that it doesn't matter who says what. You are able to do what you have to do. So don't allow pre-existing conditions to cause you to suffer unnecessarily. If it's not right, say, honey, this is not right. All right. So I will let my people in the panel give you the answer. As for me, I'm only talking principle in general, not the answer. All right, cool. So let me go play the last comment, and then we will move on to the wellness number. I hope my gadget will not fail me. Very, very unfortunate. All right. So let's see. Okay.
Then
All right. So what exactly is happening to my gadgets today? Because Dr. Lily made a very powerful point I want to play, but it just wouldn't let me.
Because
All right, let me see if I have any comment from Facebook as well. All right. But bear with us. I will go straight into the first area. You do your wellness number, and then we will wrap up. Thank you so much for coming to class. I appreciate all of you that are here today. Even though I'm experiencing a minor issue, but I am fine. All right. Yes, it looks like everything looks good, but for some reason, appreciate all of you. Lady Adele is in class. Thank you for coming. I'm still going to try my best and play the comment from Dr. Lily. And then, so get ready. We are going to go straight to our first area of.
hello.
Today is not my day at all. All the sound seems to be acting up. All
Of
right.
this.
Do I have it? All right. Let's see. Seems not to work. I think the call that came through was the one that kind of.
Choice.
Interesting. All right. So I will check back again. All right. Thank you so much again. So I really wish I could play Dr. Lily's comment, but for some reason my everything here is has a mind of its own for some strange reason. All right. I want to just tackle the issue of wellness number, and then we will. All right. So that the producer has given me a little bit of room to go up to 840. Thank you, producer. Appreciate that. So let's see. All right. So then let's do wellness number, and then, or if you have questions too, I've been so bad. I've never done Q&A, which is so bad of me. So I'm open to questions also in the comment section. Yes, if you have questions, I'm open to that today. Comment. If you have comment a question, I will answer that for you.
Car. That is taking advantage of this young lady in the name of marriage.
All right, now I got it back.
However, I think the lady's choice to stop the school is in the right direction. Not because she doesn't want school, but she wants peace. She just wants peace at home. So if there's nothing that is going to go bad or nothing will go wrong if she stopped the school for a year, then she's taking the right decision in the right time. Because anyway, she can always go to school when she does want, for the sake of peace. My recommendation at this moment is for the guy to really take a step back. It looks like he needs a lot to be done. He needs more growing because he's taking a selfish stand. My mom, my car, that's not right. He should also think of, what can I do to support my wife? What can I do to make her happy? So as the lady has accepted to stop school, he should sit also and say, okay, what can I also do that will benefit this woman who has agreed to stop school? And in so doing, it will be a win-win situation. Ideally, he should have cut down on his expenses so that the lady could go to school, but he didn't. I think it's a thumbs up for the lady. She really wants peace. That's what I know.
Because for the girl to stop schooling and work as a full-time will worry her in future. Good evening, Pastor Kwame. I think the guy should stop buying the car for now and help the lady to finish her education first. But as for the monthly allowance for his mother, they can still continue and give her, because if they stop giving her the monthly allowance, it will bring problem to them.
All right. Finally, I've been able to play all the audio. I appreciate all of you. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I bring these experts in. They do the hard job. I just teach principles. So mine is a principle that you can apply in many instances and situations. Is there any comment that I've missed? All right. Let me see any comment that I've missed. Thank you all so much. So let me go to our class topic for today and give you the first one. And so we are here to talk about how to know whether you are doing well or not. So when I say well, I mean the inner life, your inner self, the person within the skin. Your biology is your temporal home. You have to still eat healthy and all of that, dress well, look smart, look sharp, but that's not you, right? The real you is the inner being. And so when I say how are you, that's what I'm talking about. And the quality of your wellness is really the goal for our Italk conversation going forward. The first area that we know whether you are doing well is called your open life. Your open life. And when I say your open life, I mean to say the self we know you to be. Do you understand? The self we know you to be. You know me to be Pastor Kwame. I know you to be this and that open life. And usually it's your public reputation, right? To know if you are doing well, we have to ask yourself honestly, how close is your public life to your private life? You understand? You understand? Most of the time, because of the social media world we are living in, people can design a public life which is just for the public sake, but they are in their private life not the same as a public. If you have that, you are not doing well. I'm not talking about you are faking and lying to people. Your inner self is going to suffer if there's a drastic between the public image and your private image. The part, it's not because somebody will catch you and know you are a hypocrite. That's what I'm talking about. But it is making you inwardly sick if you have a double life where outwardly we know, oh, he's a nice guy, he likes the wife, and but inwardly you are a monster. Or in the private, you are not what you say you are. You come out and you say, let's pray, ska, but in your private life you don't pray. If you have such a contrast between your public self and your private self, and you just do the public just for show, just to let people take pictures, or you just like the way politicians do. They don't like poor people, but when it's time for election, they will just go to poor communities and just take pictures just for show, all of that. If your public life and your private life is so separate, then you are causing a lot of harm to your inner self. And I'm going to explain that as we go forward. So I want to talk about your outside life and ask you the question: is what we see the real you, or there are other areas of your life that is different, but when you come out publicly, you portray yourself as such? And you might think I'm trying to be strong or be hard on you, but I'm just painting a picture of your open window. Because sometimes it's not because you are faking, but sometimes you can't be the real you because the environment that you are in, they will judge you and they will condemn you. Do you understand? And so you portray a certain kind of personhood so that you can be left alone, or you can be comfortable where you are, because you don't sense that you can be your true authentic self and still be respected and accepted. You understand that? So to measure how well you are doing, I'm just asking the question for today. Honestly speaking, are you the same as we know you outside as you are inside privately? Right. And if you are not, why are you not? Is it because you are afraid that people who know your real you will not like you anymore? Is it because you are afraid that how can a pastor's daughter just expose these things about myself? Are you ashamed of something that is authentic that you don't want to pay publicity? Now, let me make a clarification. By all means, not everything is for the public eye. And I think I have to make that statement before we go. The reason why we dress before we step out is because some of our nakedness is not for the public. So sometimes when we are covering the nakedness of pastors of our church, it's not because we are hypocrite, but it is common sense that some private things belong to the private. So let me make that clarification, right? But what I'm trying to show you in the open window is there something that limits you or causes you to have this kind of double self for yourself because of the expectation on your life? It's expected of me to be, because for example, sometimes if you marry a pastor, today I'm on my producer and their husband, but I'm also a pastor and a pastor's wife, so it's fine for everybody. Sometimes the pressure to be a church asafu mame can be very expected of you. And so my senior pastor and the wife, they're just amazing. So my senior pastor and the wife, they were a very amazing couple. But the wife was not like ministry kind of, she wasn't familiar with pulpit life and all of that. And so, but every Mother's Day, the church ladies will be pushing her. So, mommy, you are the one preaching. And so one day she gathered the energy and she mounted the pulpit and she opened the Bible and she read it. And then she said one or two, and somebody came and tapped her shoulder that time is up. And she said undertone, but we all heard in the microphone. In other words, I want to get out of here. So if my time is up, I'm happy, right? So basically, those are the things I'm dealing with, right? The first one is a double life. But second one is like, are you playing a role in who you are that is stressful for you to be who you are? Have you forced yourself into some marriage? Have you forced yourself into some situation where the expectation on your life is causing you to be not yourself? Do you understand? So that's really what I'm trying to say. But one example I gave was the double life. But really, what I'm trying to paint in this open window is, are you happy with your open life? Or you could have become more, but you are restricted. Do you understand that? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Are you happy with your open life? Or there's more to you, but you are afraid that when you show your real self, the circle you belong to, they will criticize you. You understand that? Right? So that is really the first one. So if to give yourself and because we're going to score all four of these things, and then you, based on the numbers you get on every category, you add it together, and that's your wellness number. And I will show you how to increase it after we are done with the 4 episode. But the intro or the first category is, are you okay with your public self? Or you are only like that because of what others will say? Are you playing a role in your public life? You know, and it's not either right or wrong, but for your inside to be well, you must be the same everywhere. So there are some people, they'll force themselves to marry pastors, and you know that that is not your like. And let me tell you this: being a church worker is not the same as being a Christian. You can be a church worker, clean the church, pray in tongues, lead the Bible study, and still go to hell. And you can never do all those things and work in a bank and go to heaven, because church work and Christianity are not the same thing. You understand that? And so if you marry somebody who doesn't enjoy church work, because ministry is not Sunday, ministry is what you do after church. Church is just a gas station. You understand that? So if you are found yourself doing church work and that is not your thing, but because it's expected of you, you do that, you are not being real. You understand that? And it will affect the inside person that we know, because you are having a tension. You understand that? So being comfortable, you say that this is not my talent, this is not my gift, I can't lead this, I can't do that. But it looks like, how can you be a pastor's wife? How can you be a pastor's son? How can you be this and you don't want to do this? You understand that? So if those pressures are on your public life, then I'm questioning, I'm putting for you is, are you okay with the public self that you are, or you have just succumb to the situation that you are in, that it's expected of me, that's why I have to behave accordingly? But deep within you, that is really not you. You understand? So that those are the conversations I'm talking about when I talk about your public life. And in this, let me see what time I have. In this situation, then you are healthy in this category if what we see is what we get. You are not afraid to say, this is not comfortable for me. What I can do is I can cook and maybe do something, but forcing me to teach Bible class by force, because I am the pastor's son and all of that, is fake. You understand? And for me, I know people will grow into certain things, but whatever you are doing, if it's not real you, if it's good, it's bad. Every good thing that you are faking is bad. Do you understand? So be your authentic self. Like I said in the Christmas show, it's better for Zechariah to say, how can Elizabeth give birth, for God to shut his mouth and grow his faith, than for Zechariah to pretend that he knows how God will do it and be fake. So don't be fake, be real. You understand? Be real so that you can get help to become yourself. But don't fall under the pressure of this is expected of me, so I must behave this way, even though deep within you, that is not you. We can help you grow into that, but you must first admit the real you. Do you understand? Don't fall for pressure into acting into certain kind of situations where it doesn't fit your personality. I respect a lot of girls that don't want to be in a certain kind of marriage because the kind of lifestyle that the husband is in is not going to cut out for them. Do you understand that? So the first window we are looking at is your public window. And there are two questions I'm asking you. Do you like your public window? And is it the same as your private window? And the reason could be because you don't have any say. If you want to be your authentic self, it will cause a lot of trouble. So you rather just go with the flow, and then secretly you begin to hide the things you really like and the things you enjoy. But when you come out, it's expected of you. You know, another area that I want to tackle before we close is sometimes life will make you have a public image that you have manufactured to hide your pain and to hide what you are going through. I said that there are some people in your life, they are watching you to say, we told you so, that you fail. Those people, you know them. And so anytime you are going through painful situation, you don't want to give them the satisfaction. So you pretend everything's okay. So your public life looks very nice on your Facebook, but your marriage is actually falling apart. But on Facebook, it looks like you are the most jealous couple. That is because you don't want those enemies to know that things are not well. Do you understand? And so social media has made us have a public image which has nothing to do with the reality. So these are all real things. You understand? Like the concept of passing, which I talked about that time, is a situation where African Americans who have the right skin tone back in the segregation time, they will pretend they are white people and hide for so many years in the white community, and nobody will know because they want to survive. Do you understand? And I said, like, people have designed a very nice way of blending in. You understand? Of blending in. For example, if you come as an immigrant to America and you know how to pass well, you can change your accent, change your everything, and nobody can tell you are from Africa because you know that as soon as you say something, they will all look at you funny and say, yeah, look at, listen to the accent, right? There's some Ghanaians who are able to hide their accent, hide their everything that you cannot tell. We've been in the country for a long time. We still have our bad accent, but it's bad to you, but it's very good to me, right? So, what I'm really saying is examine your public life, because this thing I'm talking, you can play that fakeness for a long time. You wouldn't know that you are having a double life, because you get used to that synchronization in and out. You go into, it's like you put on an outfit like a Christian on Sunday, and you take it off and you put, you see, you can have that double kind of life where publicly you play it very well, and after you are done. But if you want to know if you are doing well, then examine yourself very well. Examine yourself. Let me see if I have a comment here. Examine yourself very well. How do you reconcile being yourself with social norms or acceptable social behavior? All right, that's a powerful one. Exactly. So basically, whenever you are placed in a situation that something is expected of you, if it's a good thing that you cannot do, then the proper thing is that I don't mind learning how to do it. You see, good social norms are not just bondages on us, but it is how we build the society. So all good social norms, you must be real to yourself and say, if this is expected of me, it's a good thing, and I don't know how, it's not my talent, it's not my gift, but I can be trained to do it. Do you understand? So all the good things, but things that are not necessarily uh, good or bad, but in general, where it is not fitting you as a person. And even sometimes it is something that I feel um it 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 is out of you that those changes will come, because it is interesting that sometimes it takes people that are willing to be themselves for change to come to a whole generation. You see, because if you are born a leader, God will place the demand on you not to accept that negative social construct. Do you understand? It took a lot for women to be pilot. It took a lot for, because even if you have the desire for that, they will shut you down and say it is not a woman place for this. Society say it is not a woman place for this. So there are some social norms that are just because we do it like that. And sometimes you as an individual, you feel that I have the passion for something that society thinks is for only women, is for only men. And if you can be yourself, you save a lot of people that are coming after you. So we always want you to look deep in yourself and leave your real self in the confine of that which is moral, and you will realize that you have liberated a lot of people. Now we can freely live gradually as Africans and African American, because other leaders realize that. Remember, we all celebrate Dr. King, but when Dr. King refused to accept the norm, even preachers were talking against him. Preachers were mad at him that, oh, you are disturbing the peace and you're going to cause a lot of problems. Now that he lived his true voice within, the same people who said he is too much, now they are saying that he's our hero. So what I'm saying, that the voice within, the authentic within, when you feel like it, it's a good thing to ask yourself, is this righteous? Then why shouldn't I push for it? But if it is something unrighteous, which God speaks against, which the Bible speaks against, then you must admit that this. And so the point I'm making is, whether you are right or wrong, be real first. You see what I'm saying? If you are real and there's nothing wrong with it, then we encourage you to push it, even though it's not common. Be the first to do it. If you are real and it is bad, we help you. But if you fall to the moldings around you, then it's a bunch of fake people pretending they are doing well. Do you understand? So we want you to first be real. Whether it's a bad reel or good reel is a second issue. The first issue is be yourself. And then you can be corrected if yourself is wrong. And you can be encouraged if you're bringing something fresh to the table. But as soon as you let the society muzzle your mouth, then all we are seeing is the law, where outwardly you look like you're a good child, but inwardly you are not a good child. When you fall to the form of things. So we want you to be real. We want to give you the understanding that being authentic is the beginning of correction and the beginning of thriving. So definitely let the social norms be clear and let righteousness standards be clear. But we want you to always be real, because that's how your inner wellness begin. And if your realness is not appropriate, then you can receive help, because we are all growing, we are all being molded, we are all being trained. You understand that? But if you put fear and you control the environment, what you are producing is fake people that in their heart and their minds, they have a different flavor, but outwardly they will say yes, massa, just to please. And when you do that, you are not being real to your inner well-beingness, and you are not going to be healthy. You create a pre-existing condition, and you really understand why you are not happy, even though you make a lot of money. You understand why you're not happy, even though you are in love. That is because you are fake. Your outward and your inward are not the same. You have allowed pressure of the people to make you into what you are not. You have allowed your own fears to make you into what you are not. And it's better to be your real self and get help than to just pretend you are something that you are not. So that is kind of the balance I am bringing in. All right. That was a powerful question, actually. All right. So I will try to wrap up this time around, and I appreciate all of you so much. So if I'm to summarize the first class on know yourself, ask these questions. How real is my public life? And how much is it different from my private life? Number two, are there things that I am afraid of expressing because of the people around me? Number four, am I happy with my public self? And am I playing a role, or I am really in my element doing what I love? All right, so that are the questions. If you see that, yes, by the grace of God, my life is going the way I want, there isn't anything that I feel is so different, then you are doing well. We have a point 1 to 10. You give yourself, okay, in my public image, I am like 90% real, because I say you can't be 100% naked like that. You have to keep some things private. But if you are, say, 70% legit, what we see is what we get, then that is good. And if you say, Pastor, I have surrendered myself with a lot of things that I put filter on because I'm in a very judgmental home, judgmental church, judgmental environment, that I have to not even make some comments. So as for me, I go, people say that I go do my thing and I come home. See, when they are not able to freely leave, that's what the things they say. If you are like that, then you say, as for me, at the moment, I don't tell nobody my business. I just quietly do things and I come back. That means that you are very careful. You can't express yourself very well. And that is also a sign that you are not flowing your real self through. All right. I hope it makes sense a little bit. So next time around, we will go to the next category. But if you have any questions, if you have any comments, you can still reach out to me on Facebook, or you can reach out to the studio and then they will pass it to me. This is it's not very easy to teach because it's a little complicated, and it takes, when I'm teaching this, there's a slide, there's a illustration on the chart to kind of show. It makes it easier to follow. But when I'm narrating, it's a little bit complicated. But that is the first question. Are you happy with your public self? And are you real? Or you are hiding behind certain things for peace sake? Right? Like one of the comment that came, that I do it for peace sake. It's not that I like it, but for peace sake. So how many things are you doing for peace sake? And that is not the real you. All right. Thank you for your time again. Appreciate all of you. I hope you learned something today. Be real. Yes, the producer said be real. Be yourself. If it's not good, we'll correct it. But just be yourself first to begin with. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you all so much for your time. All right. We will be with you next week, same time. Have an awesome weekend. Go to church and God bless you.
Chill on the beat.
For those of you that are afraid, hey, 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 you're not alone. God is in control. Oh, the Lord on your side. Oh, you are saying, hey, 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 hey. I know they fear. Went through life that to me. The Lord on my side. I am safe. It's not giving me the spirit of fear. It's not giving me a reason to fear. He has given me power and a sound mind. So I don't fear.